Welcome back to the channel. Today we're making coasters out of log ends with a special surprise in them. So stick with us and we'll see how we make them. All right, so it's after Christmas. It's been a couple weeks since I've uploaded a video, but wound up throwing my back out. Still not 100%, but long story short, I have a horrible back, and every now and then I throw it out, and it winds up putting me on the couch for a few weeks or days, or depending on how bad it is. But haven't had one in a while, so I guess I was due. But of course, it happened right around Christmas, so I didn't get all the things that I wanted to get done video-wise for Christmas done before Christmas. But that's okay. We could still make stuff. Still kind of rainy out today. I wanted to get for a hike maybe this week. Somewhere at least, but it's kind of rainy today and wet and muddy, and that's just gross, no fun. So in the Christmas wreath video, you saw me cut a bunch of these little cookies out, right? So anytime you cut like a slab off, it's called a cookie sometimes, or a slab, or whatever. Like this is a small cookie. This one we've used over here that we're gonna eventually make the clock out of. It's a big cookie, right? So it's basically a branch that you're cutting off. This is probably, I probably wouldn't go thicker for a coaster, maybe 1/2 inch, 3/4 of an inch, something like that. These are roughly, depending on which one you get, they're not fully the same height. So these range from about 1/2 inch to 3/4 of an inch thick, depending on where you're at. All right, so first thing we're gonna do, we've got kind of our stack of various, cutoffs here that are left over from the wreath. So I'm gonna look for ones that are somewhat consistently thick. Like this one here is pretty nice. This is probably, let's say 3/4 of an inch. Yep, about 3/4 of an inch thick all the way around, a little less. So somewhere in that range. So this is a good one. This one is okay, but it definitely gets thicker and thinner over here. So, but that might be the best we have. We have this one here too. This is pretty consistent, but we stained this one already, so I don't know how much sanding it'll take to get that down to bare wood. This is our kind of our test piece. So, and yes, I just smelled that because I love the smell of stain. It smells good still. Stained wood. All right, so this one's not terrible. This one's pretty good. That's pretty. This might have been the original one I was just holding. No, it was this one. All right, so let's use these two. All right, so we've got our 2 cookies cut. These are what we're gonna use for our coasters. So I've already pre-sanded them when I was doing the wreath project, but they're still a little bit rough. So I'm gonna use my new toy I got and throw some 60 grit on here, and we're gonna wind up just smoothing these up a little bit more. That thing's cool. So here's our sanded kind of finished piece here. So still some lines in it, from cut marks and saw marks and things. If you are worried about that stuff, just keep sanding until it's smooth. You could take, if you got it in some type of jig or something where you could hold it down enough. So the problem is it's so small, it's gonna be hard to get like a hand plane or a block plane or something on there. If you had enough of a kind of a plane stop or something, planing stop on your bench, that you could probably get in there. Mine's a little bit too tall there. I don't think that would get us what we want. Let's see. It might work, but you're still gonna struggle with the side to side. But if we took a block plane, so this is a block plane. It's just like a hand plane, but just a little bit smaller. Same concept. Get a flat bottom with a blade that comes through, and you can kind of come in here, adjust the depth of the blade. Yeah. So you could do that. We didn't do much there, but like I said, end grain is not the most forgiving. That did shine up a bit though, so that's cool. So we've got our two cookies kind of cut, sanded, ready to go. So now we need to decide which side we want to be our face, essentially, which side we're going to set our drink on, right? So these have fairly good bug holes in them from the ash from the boars chewing at them. Like these are I don't know if you can see those in the camera, those lines there, those were the ash borer, the emerald ash borer kind of chews out at it. But so I like that face, and I think I like this face here. So these are going to be our faces. So we've got our two pieces sanded. Now, I think I'm going to put finish on now. Nope, I don't. What I want to do is put our surprise in here, see if that works before I start finishing everything. So we've got our top and we've got our bottom. I'm gonna flip this over and put a mark on so we know where our bottom is, so just in case we get these messed up. So I'm just gonna put a line, those are gonna be our bottom, you're not gonna see it anyway. So I was shopping around on Amazon the other day and came across these, and I thought this would be super cool to put in a coaster, at the bottom of a coaster. And I thought I had this like super cool original idea that would set me out from everyone else, but then I looked online and apparently everybody does these, so I'm not that unique, but this will be the first time you see it on this channel. So basically I found a bunch of these flat bottle openers. So they come in black, silver, and like this aged kind of bronze color, which I like this. So we're gonna use these. So essentially what we're gonna do is we're gonna drill a hole in the bottom of this with a Forstner bit. And we're not gonna drill all the way through, but we're just gonna make it deep enough that we can mount this, right? So imagine we'll make this flush, and then we'll put cork around the bottom of it, make that flush on there, and then you've got your drink, right? Your bottle, hey, I need another bottle. You put it down, you pick it up, this is underneath here, and you just pop it right off. And you never have to look for your bottle opener. It's always on your coaster. So let's find a Forstner bit that will fit that. Now this will be the point where I find out I don't have one big enough. I do. No worries. Actually, that's perfect. Okay. So we're just going to drill this down a little bit into here. I want to still think, right? We've got these checks, so I want to have it in a pretty strong spot. That's going to eventually be a weak spot. I don't want to put it right in the middle of the pith. I feel like that would be wrong too. So I think what I'm going to do is just kind of come off to the side here a little bit, kind of put it there with enough meat around, both sides. All right, so let's get this drilled. So we're going to clamp this down. And then I only want to go, so this is the full width of this, right? I only want to go just the thickness deep of this. So what I think I want to do is we'll do a piece of tape on here. basically just going to be like kissing it. So we're going to kind of come off to the side, make sure we've got enough room down there. Nice. Got a little, that's good. This is a little bit, somebody's a little bit over here, so we're just gonna lean it. A little bit like that. Nice. All right, we're flush. So now we've got that in. I want to come in and find a smaller hole, so we don't want to go with our relief hole so you can actually fit the bottle cap in here. We don't want to go too big because then we'll be where our screws are, right? So thinking this, so for reference, this is a 40 millimeter Forstner bit, fits that in there perfect actually without any wobble. And then this, I'm coming behind it with a 28 millimeter. So we've already got our center point established for the hole. So in here we're just gonna hit that same center point. So 28 may have been a bit too big, but we'll make it work. I would maybe even go smaller, maybe a 26. Let's see. For the next one, we'll try that. Yeah, I think a 26 would honestly be better. So we'll make this work though, because I'm still gonna glue them in and screw them. And we can just put those screws in at a little bit of an angle. So these are the screws that hold them, not really anything huge, right? So we'll just put them in on a bit of an angle there and we'll be fine. So right there. Looks good to me. So now we should have enough room. We're probably, oh, let's see, how far are we? Maybe ½ inch deep. No, not even. That's maybe a ¼ inch deep, which that should be plenty of room, I would think, to get a bottle cap in there and just lean the edge. Yeah, that'd be plenty. So you don't want to go too deep and wind up poking through the other side. So that will be that. All right, let's get the other one drilled. This time we're going to use a 26 mil instead and see if that's much better. So there's one. This is the bottom of our other side. All right, that's our check mark. So we want to be right here. Every once in a while, just check your depth. Pretty good there. Pretty good. All right, I will take that. Dude, this ash is something. right, on our center point, do 26 mil this time. Try that again. See, that's good. Yeah. Okay, yep. 26 mil, that's your measurement. So a 50 and then a 26 would be perfect, I think. So these are nice. I've got that 4x4 cut off left from the snow snake we did. I could even cut that and make square ones and kind of round it and stuff if you don't want this rustic log look. I might make a few of these, honestly. Let me know if you guys are interested in these. I might make a bunch of these because I've got all these now, black, silver, and this, and I'll make a bunch of different kinds and maybe sell them. Okay, so we've got that done. Now let's drill just a tiny little pilot hole for those screws, get that done. So I'm just gonna find center here. Just give this a little relief cut so it doesn't wind up, or pilot hole, I mean, not relief cut. Just so it doesn't split that out when we put our screw in. Let's keep this guy together. I think they should probably all be the same, but you never know. These is the guy we made the hole a little too big, so we're just gonna angle that. So, like I said, use caution when drilling that you don't go through your other side. So, we don't want to have holes in the top because that's the side you're going to see. All right, so now I don't want to finish that side yet. So I think what we're going to do next is get some cork on here. So when I made this vise, or when I added this vise to the bench, I didn't make the vise, but I added the jaws and stuff to it. I bought some cork, like adhesive pads on here so that it doesn't mar up the wood all the time. And it's falling apart, needs a new one, but somewhere in here I have a bunch of that stuff left over. Okay, we got some adhesive, and here we've got this kind of cork stuff. All right, so my plan is, this is adhesive, I just kind of stick that on there. It's actually perfect size, look at that. And then we'll stick it on. I'll kind of squeeze clamp it a little bit, and then we'll come through with a hot knife and kind of cut that out so that we can cut it to shape. Good catch, Matt. All right, let's get started. We're gonna wind up peeling, we'll peel this off. Set that adhesive side up. And then we'll come through here. Try to center that up the best we can so it's not coming off the edge. Clamp it down. Do that for this one as well. That's the adhesive side down. This to have coverage all the way around. There we go. Okay, and I just realized I pressed those on and never used the adhesive. Oh, Matt. Okay. Okay, that's better. All right, so we've done that. We've got our adhesive stuck on. We've got our cork stuck on. So now I'm just kind of putting them in the vise, giving it a little bit of pressure to let that adhesive kind of soak into this end grain a little bit, and just kind of soak into the other side of that cork maybe. Just kind of 5-10 seconds. Just enough to kind of give it a little bit of pressure, squeeze out any air pockets that might be in there. You don't have to really crank on it, just enough. Give it a little bit of extra pressure than you can with your hand. Not necessary, but that'll be it. All right, so now let's get the hot knife out and we'll cut this stuff off. You could probably use an X-Acto on here, but I want to see what the hot knife does, if it'll actually cut through there good or not. Okay, so we got our hot knife kind of going, heated up a bit, bench cleaned off. And now we're just going to come through, and it's going to be hard to show you guys. Here, do this weird, but basically come through and just follow the edge of the coaster with our knife, and the heat from the knife kind of just makes a nice clean cut. Okay, so now we've got it cut kind of flush to our log all the way around. So that looks good, and now when you put it on the table, it ain't gonna slide around. So now we've got to get our, flip it over and get our recess open. Yeah, trips the cork or the adhesive. Those things. All right. So that is the cork cut out for our recess. So essentially we're just going to put a piece of super glue in there, glue that in, and that'll be the hidden little secret in our coaster. So let's do that. Let's get a little bit of super glue in here and get these mounted in. Oop. These do have an up and a down, so remember, be cautious to do the right one. The up facing, I guess not away from the coaster, has these little chamfers for the screws to kind of sit in. So we want that to be faced like that. And then I'm going to suggest putting, so this cork stuff, this little recess or indent here, this is what is actually going to be doing most of the prying. So I would put that more towards the inside of the coaster so that you're putting less pressure on this kind of less supported outside edge, and it's going to help that kind of prying motion and give that full strength of the log. All right, we've got both of our coasters cut, or the cork cut. So now we're just going to take a little bit of some Titebond Instant CA glue, so just super glue, and put just a little bit around. Don't need a ton. A little bit in those screw holes and stuff, just so that it bonds that screw in there real well. And Found our screw holes. Don't get much on your fingers unless you want to permanently glue your fingers together. And then just take our screw, don't tighten that all the way down right away. Make sure you get them both in first. And the super glue, while it's setting up, will act kind of as a little bit of lubricant to help these screws go in. But once they're in, they won't back out. So then just kind of tighten them down a little bit. Don't need to be super strong or super tight, but just enough to flush them down like that. All right, so to finish these, we're going to try a new finish, to me at least. We're going to try tung oil on here. So I'm just going to pour a little bit in here. Probably don't need too much. Just get a little paintbrush. I'm going to brush it on. So tung oil is just an oil finish. So the reason I'm using an oil finish on here is there's going to be moisture, right? And we want to get that little piece of cork out of there. We want to make it so that the moisture coming off your bottle or your glass or whatever doesn't soak too much into the wood. And then we'll just go around the sides. Gonna bring some more of that natural color of the grain out. So according to the directions on the oil, basically you want to apply it, wait 5 to 10 minutes, and then buff it even with a clean cloth. Then wait 24 hours and apply a second coat. 2 coats are recommended of it, and then anything after that, if you want additional gloss, apply another coat of Minwax tung oil finish 24 hours from application of previous coat. So basically every 24 hours you want to apply a coat if you want it shinier. So the more oil, the more coats you apply, the shinier it is, and then same direction, apply it, wait 5-10 minutes, kind of buff it out with a clean rag or something. So we're gonna give this a shot. There's 1 coat on. We'll wait 5-10 minutes, and then probably tomorrow I'll come out in the morning and just put a second coat on. I'll probably be fine with 2 coats on this, to be honest. I don't want it to be ridiculously shiny or anything. I just mainly want the oil to soak in to prevent a little bit of moisture in there from seeping in when your glass is on there. And then 2, to kind of bring out the color of that wood grain. I think that looks really pretty. So, and it's already pretty dry to the touch. So I'm gonna wait a few more minutes here and then buff that out with a rag, and then we'll move on to something else. All right, so we've got our coasters made. We've got them finished with some tung oil. We've got our secret special surprise underneath for people who use it to open their bottles. What's next? We could probably end it here and be like, good. But I know a lot of you are saying like, but Matt, how do I store them when I'm not using them? Oh, cool, thank you for asking. I'm thinking we take our leather strap that we have left over from some previous projects and make kind of a holder for the 2 and put like a snap on it or something, or something like that. So I have no idea what, but we're gonna make it up as we go. We'll see where it goes. Let's try it. Okay, so we made coasters with that little hidden bottle cap, bottle opener underneath it. We finished them in tung oil. We've made a super cool leather strap holder to hold all of our coasters. But wait, there's more. What I think I want to do now, I've got these leather, I guess this is called embossing tools or whatever, but letters. I think I want to maybe put something on the strapping. What about the word cheers? That'd be kind of cool. So let's do that, and then we'll be done. Okay, so that was coasters with bottle openers, cork bottoms. We tung oiled the top, and we made a custom leather holder to store them away somewhere. We did this with 2. You can make 4, you can make 6, 8, whatever you want to do. And then just get longer strapping if you want, to stack them up or whatever. But I figure 2 is a good starter, right? You've got one for you, one for someone else if you're having a drink or a cocktail with someone. So that's where we went with it. Hope you enjoyed this, and I'll see you on the next one.